Hi, Dad. Do you build traditions for your family at holidays? And of course, holidays, the biggest one is Christmas in the U.S. culture. And we'll have a lot of different traditions and things that we do, but a lot of times we need to build our own traditions. And dads, you can really take a lead in this and make sure that those traditions come through, because it's you leading and making sure that traditions happen. The alternative to this is transactions, where you can just do Christmas. And a lot of people, I think, a lot of families will just do Christmas. And we do this year and we do that year. We get it done, we get Christmas, and we do some things. But we would like to encourage you to have some traditions. And traditions can be crazy or not. I know my wife's family, they're Swedish, and every year her mother would make lutefisk. Well, lutefisk is fish with soap in it, lye. I mean, it's the awfulest stuff. It's like, why would anybody want to have this? Well, what they do is it's Christmas, so we have to have lutefisk. And the interesting thing with this tradition is everybody thought about it, stunk up the house, nobody liked it. And finally she said, nobody's eating this stuff. Why am I making it? So that really didn't make sense, but I'm still talking about it. This is 25 years later, 30 years later. And so the thing is some of the funny traditions, one of the things we'll talk about is one of the times we went to Christmas Eve service. And we ended up wandering around. We couldn't find a service. And so we just talk about the fact, you remember that year that we wandered around trying to find a Christmas Eve service and we couldn't find one, and so we went home. And we still talk about it. So traditions don't have to be anything special. They can be very special. We have another tradition where we have Abelskiver, which is a Danish kind of pancake donut that's from my grandmother's tradition that I grew up with. And we've always had Abelskiver every year for our kids. And we just decided, we want to carry on this tradition, this Larson tradition, and introduce it to our kids. And they've got it. They've got Abelskiver pans. And so it's something we carried on. But dads, a lot of times you can direct this. It's this idea of being able to instill values in your kids. And the idea that they're going to just somehow magically figure out how Larsons do Christmas is not going to happen. They don't know how to do Christmas your way unless you help them. And they'll build their own traditions. But if you don't help build them traditions or help them learn how to build traditions, they'll get older and they won't know how. It's just like, well, I don't know what we're going to do on Christmas. What are we supposed to do? Well, there's traditions. My dad always used to read the Christmas story out of Luke before we got our presents. Now, this was a big deal for a little guy to have to listen to this Christmas story. Okay, heard it. Let's go. Move, move, move. But it was a tradition. I think about my dad doing it. So dads, don't miss this opportunity as a value transfer. Your values, your spiritual values, your moral values, the way you as a family do business, don't miss it. Make sure that you have some traditions. Don't just do Christmas. This is how we do Christmas. Thanks for stopping by.